Crypto is now running into a significant area of resistance, and the longer the crypto prices spend here, the higher the chances are that we're going to get a pullback for Bitcoin and the altcoin prices. In this video, I'm going to talk about how severe that pullback might be. I'm going to talk about altcoins that I'm looking to buy should we get a pullback, and I'm going to talk about how to get the very best entry price on those purchases. If that sounds good, do me a favor, hit the like button, and let's get into today's video. Now guys, welcome to the School of Crypto. Unlike my main channel, the House of Crypto, this channel is far more geared towards day trading of crypto, buying and selling of different altcoins, and understanding exactly how to maximize your gains throughout the bull market ahead. So if you want to up your game in crypto and understand what's going on from one day to the next, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell as well. Now guys, jumping across to the Bitcoin chart, we can see that Bitcoin and the altcoins are running into a very significant area of resistance. So should we be worried? Well, if we look across to crypto bubbles right now, I understand why people are maybe feeling a little bit anxious. And it's not necessarily because a lot of the altcoins are down today, but it's more because of what we've been through over the past 3 or 4 months. You see, what's happened in the market over this time is that prices have fallen down and fallen down. And every time we've had what looks like a rally towards the upside, it's basically failed. Okay, these failed rallies were designed to get you to completely lose faith in the fact that at some point this would continue towards the upside, which means that after even the most significant recovery, which we've seen in the last few weeks, of about $20,000 for Bitcoin, which is pretty big, we're still getting the fear that maybe things are going to roll over and get much worse. But obviously, in my opinion, that's not going to happen. Global M2 is pumping towards the upside. A little pullback like this is absolutely normal and to be expected. But can this pullback continue, and how much lower can it go if it does, and what on earth do we do if it does pull back? Well, just yesterday, people were asking me, yet again, was it too late to buy this coin or that coin? You get the picture. Was it too late? Possibly at that time, and now today we're getting a nice discount on some coins. And I'm going to talk about some altcoins in particular that I'm going to look at and get into on this video. Now, what we can see right now is Bitcoin is running into a significant area. We know this because if we draw this red box across, you can see that previously we saw a lot of support for Bitcoin between $91,000 and around $94,500. Okay, every time from mid-November till pretty much mid-February, which was 2 months, Bitcoin held its own above this line. Now, previous lines of resistance become future lines of support, okay, and vice versa. And in future, this red box will eventually turn itself into support for Bitcoin, okay? So what we're seeing right now is simply Bitcoin running into a key area of resistance. How much of a pullback can we see? Well, this is a difficult question to answer, but I want to just prepare you that we can get a pullback, and a pullback might be reasonably big because we got some reasonably big day green candles towards the upside here, which tells us that maybe a little bit longer of a cool off could be in order. Typically, as I've just said, previous resistance becomes support, previous support becomes resistance. Typically what happens after a big push like this is there is a chance, not a guarantee, that we can come back to retest previous areas of resistance. As we look down this chart, you can see that previous areas of resistance sit very nicely at around $87,500, which for Bitcoin is a push down of around 6%, which isn't too bad. But something to consider. Remember, everyone is still a bit panicky and a bit jittery after all of this. If Bitcoin does retrace 6% or so, there is a reasonable chance that everyone absolutely loses it and panics. Okay, we've seen this happen time and time again with the fear and greed index recently. Every time we're getting a little bit of a pullback, people suddenly go from bullish, greedy to panicking and panic selling. Don't do that, okay? M2 money supply continues towards the upside. You want to stay in this game. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not leaving this game, okay, until at least somewhere near the end of this year. And obviously we'll talk about when that might be later on in the year. And if you want to know exactly when I'm exiting crypto, then make sure you follow me across on Twitter. It's Peter_THOC. Don't follow anyone else. The one with the blue tick is the one. Okay, so basically the strategy right now is to basically hold, and if we get dips, we get back into the market. Now, if we know that Bitcoin has a chance, not a guarantee, just a chance, we could prepare for that eventuality so that we are nice and calm and that we don't miss an opportunity. Because if we're prepared for that comeback, so if we're lucky enough to get that pullback into this zone, then it gives us another buying opportunity should we have missed previous buying opportunities. Now, in a video I'm going to make on the House of Crypto, literally straight after this one, I'm going to talk in more depth about AI coins and why AI coins are an absolute no-brainer in my personal opinion. Because if you go across to Google Trends and you search for AI crypto and you go worldwide over the past 5 years, you can see that every single time the crypto bull market or crypto sees volume coming into the market, like it did back in around the start of 2023 up until kind of like March time 2024, and then at the end of the year everybody goes straight to AI coins. AI coins always blow up and go bananas, okay? But right now you can see that the search volume for AI is pretty low, which means it's a good time to enter rather than entering when everyone else is searching for it, okay? If you want to get ahead in this game, you have to start thinking ahead of what everyone will start to do. As soon as the market picks up, AI coins start to run hot. That's why we've seen like Bitunix picking up. We've seen TARS AI picking up. These are all pretty good options in my opinion. Can't really go wrong. So if you were to get a pullback on any of these, then you have a bit of an opportunity. There's other ones I quite like. Netmind token, very interesting project as well. And again, as I said, I will look in more depth for my next video. Delesium, etc. But let's say, for example, we got TARS AI here. Now, as you can see, TARS AI has been pumping very, very hard since just the other day. It's up 135%, which is pretty good. And as you can see from the highs, it did come down a massive 95%. Currently, it's down around 89%. And if you were buying into the dips, there's a chance that you're already back to break even and probably beyond. Because actually, if you had $100 up here and you got left with $5 down here, if you put in another $100 down here, you're now sat at like $250 worth. Okay, you actually made probably more money than you ever lost. You actually earned significant profits, really, and that's why buying the dip's so valuable. But really, you don't want to enter in right now because it's been pumping very hard for a few days. So TARS AI might be an opportunity to be able to wait for a pullback, because if Bitcoin pulls back 6%, there's a chance that TARS and other coins do have a bit more of a healthy pullback towards previous levels. Now, what you can see here is we have a lot of big green candles towards the upside, and no obvious kind of point at which maybe you might see some kind of pullback to. So where might we find a pullback? Now, I'm going to drop down to the 4-hour chart because it's going to give me a bit more data, a bit more information. Now, we can see that there's two areas in time where TARS AI started to run very strongly. This is one, and this is another one. This is going to give me the opportunity to find buy zones. Now, I'm not saying that you don't buy TARS AI, but I know over the last few days, you've probably been looking at TARS, maybe you've been looking at Bitunix, maybe you've been looking at SUI, whatever it is, every crypto coin, every asset, we're talking Forex, we're talking gold, does this, right? They go through periods of time of expansion and kind of sideways. Now, when it comes back down, if it comes back down, of course, then it will typically come back to an area before the expansion, somewhere like this, okay? And it will retest this zone, which means, guess what? If the price comes back down for TARS AI into here, I want to be able to enter into a position for it rather than just buying the top up here. Now, obviously, TARS might continue like this, in which case I missed it. I have to wait for another day, another coin, etc. But by having that discipline, you're going to win in this bull market, okay? I promise you, because if you can control your impulses, which, let's be honest, are the things that screwed us up the most, aping into massive green candles and selling out of big red ones, because every time you get a big red candle and you sell it, the price goes back up, and every time you get a big green candle towards the upside and you buy it, price comes back down. So what we need to do, as you said, is literally just draw a rectangle, whatever you want to draw, across here, and just call it a buy zone. You can see there's one there, and there's another one down the bottom. I don't think we get back down here. Why? Because the max fear has already been seen in the market. We don't see those prices again. TARS AI, if it comes back into this zone, I'm down happy because I get to buy into it, maybe having missed it the first time. That's a 30% drop. Does it happen? I don't know. Maybe not, okay? But from here to there is 43% up. And let me show you why this is so damn important for you, because it makes such a difference. You might not think it does, but look, let's say I ape into it right now at current prices, and it messes around for a few weeks, and I have to go in the red and whatever else, fine. But eventually it goes back up to that previous high. I go up 816%. But just by having a little bit of patience and waiting for it to get into that red box, and it goes back to that area, I go up 1,191%, which is like 3x more. So, for example, if I put in $100 in at current prices, I end up here at $800. Still pretty damn good. But instead of doing that, I could end up with $1,100 or $1,200. Amazing, right? And it teaches me not to be impulsive, not to panic buy or anything like that. Now, other coins I'm really interested in right now, Bitunix, as I said, Netmind, but actually is Worldcoin. And I'm going to talk about why this is slightly later on, because I've never really looked into this too much. But Worldcoin is like a proof of human coin, okay, which is very, very important as we start to move towards ages of AI. It's built by the people who built ChatGPT, okay, Sam Altman. Now, right now, Sam Altman is being rumored to be creating some sort of social media platform, kind of like Twitter. Again, I'm going to go into this in much more depth for my House of Crypto video. I'm just getting excited. But anyway, it seems like it could be a very exciting time to be getting into Worldcoin. And as we can see, looking into Worldcoin, over the start since it launched, it's kind of been up and down a bit, not really showing much activity. But right now, it's put in a nice kind of bottom in here. Now, where can I see as a potential pullback zone here? Well, we've got two things to think of. The buy zone concept, and we can also think of previous resistance becomes future support, which would be around here. And actually, if we go to like a 4-hour chart or a 1-hour chart even, you will probably see that this is also our sideways area before we get that significant push. So if Bitcoin does pull back and Worldcoin does pull back, we get our purchase down here. Don't get upset if I say that Bitcoin can pull back and you think it's just going to go up forever. This is completely non-emotional, okay? If I put in my buy order down here and Worldcoin goes straight up, good. Then I've still got money in crypto. I'm happy. Money's doing well for me, etc. So what are we going to do to make sure we get the best price? Well, let's just mark it off here. Somewhere under 0.793 is pretty good. Okay, that would be a pullback for Worldcoin around 10%. I'd be pretty happy to get a 10% discount on Worldcoin. Now, what I'm going to do is go across to Bitunix. Okay, it's linked down below in the description. Why am I using this exchange? Because it doesn't require a KYC. It's one of the cheapest exchanges for using for fees. It has a huge range of different altcoins available. And if you sign up through my link down below, you'll also get cash back in Bitcoin, which is pretty cool because it's Bitcoin right now where Bitcoin's worth $90,000. And if Bitcoin goes up, the money that you get for free in Bitcoin is also going to go up as well. So it's kind of like a bonus that might keep growing forevermore. Who knows? Anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a limit order. You can see on this right-hand side, lots of red numbers and green numbers. This basically represents the market. Right now, the price is 0.880. It's the price that sits between where everyone is buying and everyone is selling. If lots of people decide that they're going to buy more and more and more, and there's not enough people to sell it, the price will go up. If lots of people decide that they want to sell it and there's not enough people to buy, the price will go down. And these are basically orders like me saying, well, I will buy a load of Worldcoin at 0.880. And if people start to sell and fill all these orders, then it will go down. And on the flip side, it goes up. Now, the benefit of using limit orders over market orders is one, they're cheaper, the fees are less. And two, that I can basically put in an order that doesn't have to go ahead straight away. So if I think the price goes down into that area, then I can buy. If it doesn't, then I don't buy and I'm happy. 0.789, you can see on the chart, is about where we talked about before, previous resistance area. So I want to say to myself, well, if we get down to this 0.79 area, I want to buy some Worldcoin. So what I can do is make sure I'm in spot. You can do this as well on futures, but I don't like to catch a falling knife on futures, which is what this might be. Okay, basically what I want on futures is for it to come down and bounce before I look to get into an entry on a leveraged position. But if I'm looking to just buy spot, this is probably the best way, because if it does come down lower, I'm still happy I've got the good discount. So let's say 0.79. All I need to do is go to limit order, type in price as 0.79, and I need to send out how much I want to buy. So for example, this would be in a USDT amount. Let's say I want to buy $1,500. Should we get down towards those zones? I'm going to press buy Worldcoin, and then if the price gets down here, it's going to fill my orders, okay? And that means that no matter what happens, let's say I turn on the charts tomorrow and suddenly Bitcoin's down here, and instead of being like, I was nicely prepared for this because Peter told me to wait for, a potential pullback, and then suddenly the pullback happened and I absolutely crapped myself because I thought it was just going to go lower and I completely lost everything and my emotion went and took over everything. It's going to allow me to just go to sleep and potentially get lucky and have my order filled, and then the price falls up like that, okay? This is probably the easiest and best way to do things. On the flip side of things, as we progress into a bull market, and yes, we are in a bull market because of global M2 and all that other good stuff, which is surging towards the upside, and we will see much higher prices for crypto into May and beyond, possibly by the end of this month as well. We're going to start seeing higher prices because this continues to rise and rise and rise. Basically, what I can do in this position is not only have a limit order for my buys, but once I'm holding some coins, I can also put in a limit order for some sells. So let's say instead of holding my Bitcoin and saying that Bitcoin suddenly gets to 140K and being like, wow, I just need to keep more money in because another 20% means that I can go and buy that house or that car that I wanted, which usually is how we get trapped. Instead of that, I could just have a take profit, a stop in the sand, okay, that's just going to cash me out once Bitcoin hits that price, whether I'm asleep, whether I'm awake, whether I'm at the bar, whatever happens. And that is a very good way to stay non-emotional. Everything in this game is about being non-emotional, just acting calmly, no matter what you're hearing in the media, no matter what your heart is telling you, because your heart's going to lie to you throughout this bull market and make you do stupid stuff, is the easiest way through it. Now, hopefully that was useful for you guys. Okay, I really think to look right now towards narratives that are just not getting a huge amount of attention, but are at least getting some. We know, look, like every single time crypto starts to run towards the upside, you can go and check this on the charts. Every time crypto runs, AI just becomes a very obvious crypto play, okay? We know AI is basically taking over the world, and in the next few years, the world's going to look very different. AI is a very, very obvious place to be looking. These are ones I've been looking at. I will talk about them in more depth in my next video very shortly over on the House of Crypto. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, notification bell turned on. Also, do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, give me a follow over on Twitter. If you want as well, go and leave a comment under here. I obviously lost my first Twitter account in a hack, which is pretty sad. It had like 70,000 followers. I've been trying to rebuild this, but it's a slow process. Any support you could give me is greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below on the video. Always good to help amplify these videos and content. And it's just an easy way for you to kind of support the channel. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Okay, don't panic. If the market comes down, good. We get our low prices. If the market doesn't come down, also good. We get more money in the short term. All good. See you soon. Bye-bye.